So they'll be calling you a radical. This is a real historic video. All my videos are historic, but this is important. Nuscale from hell, Nuscale from hell. Nuscale. I grew up right here. Shadow Valley right over there. Who named it Shadow Valley? The natives. They were here. This place was so hallowed and so sacred. I mean, what a piece of real estate, what they've done. The Hinckley family used to graze their cows right here. The old Woodshed Theater was the only thing there until recently. So why? Because I love the way they painted the tanks, South Ogden City. Now, South Ogden, Nuscale came here to Utah. Now, the only person that reported this was Kevin Blanch. I was on to him immediately. It's when Obama came here, and that was what it was up to. So Nuscale's, this is the most corrupt thing in the history of the state of Utah, and that's saying a lot. By the way, I'll say this, when Barnes Bank went down, I taught the bank examiner class at Weber State. I was a professor then. The bank examiners, I knew, when Barnes went down, I knew they were going down. Zions was leveraged more than illegally than Barnes. Too big to fail on chemo, on Balco. So, anyway, let's talk about this corruption. This is important historic stuff. Really important. So what did they do? So this is how they pulled this fraud. So they're like, I'm like, what? Utah downwinders. By the way, I've been battling leukemia, as you fucking know. You know, what a nightmare. But anyway, so they rolled in the town. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? They're going to get a grant from Obama administration, the DOE. So the way it works for these SMRs, fucking Rolls Royce, the luxury good of fucking death. Now it's all the rage. You know, Bill Eugenie Skates, who, by the way, stole the operating system here. It was invented here, Bruce Bastion, who's David O. McKay's grandson, he's Philo Farnsworth's grandson. Who's that? Television? RCA stole from him. How about Ashton is David O. McKay's grandson. They were in the fucking band. So Bill Eugenie Skates is all the way. He's going to name it. That word, by the way, why would he use a Hebrew word for salt? Same old fucking reactor that blew up at Rocketdyne, who blew up at Idaho twice. I mean, Atomic City on Balco on chemo. So how did they do this? I'm like, Kenwood Financial put up the original $50 million. I'm like, no. I dug in. I'm part of the group that exposed that it was a Ponzi scheme. The SEC gets to work on it and charges them with a Ponzi. She finds them guilty. Of course, they didn't go to jail. Nobody goes to fucking jail. White collar crime. Are you kidding? Don't get caught with a fucking marijuana seed around here. Or, you know, don't be growing marijuana plants in your fucking house, Matthew Stewart. Fucking peace officer. So I'm like, no. That Obama administration still gave him the grant. By the way, the Trump administration's given even a bigger grant. I like how you're Obamacans versus Trumpets. We're going to go to the street and kill each other over an ideological war, black, white, up, down, wrong, right, when they're identical fucking twins. You know, so this is the big issue. So Jose Reyes. Now, this is important. Stay with me. So what the NRC, head of the NRC, the Trump named the head of the NRC. Now, Allison McFarland, the former head of the NRC, I'm the only one that ever got in their face. I got in their face in San Juan Capistrano about to cover up Fukushima, and I left Paul's, ashes there because he grew up in Atomic City, and we were in the bone marrow transplant, and Johnny, my really close friend from Arco, Idaho. Arco's named after the German madman, Idaho National Lab, where he died. I mean, so many. We've got so much cancer right here, leukemia. I wonder why. Downwinder way. I was working right over there when I got it. I went in the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11. So the whole thing was a fraud from inception. Didn't matter. They kept it going. Obama's out. Trump's in. The new head of the NRC. No. Yeah. Literally in bed with Jose Reyes. Jose Reyes worked for Idaho National Lab. Don't you think that's a conflict? Wait, it gets better. She worked at Idaho National Lab. They worked together. Literally lovers in bed together. Literally. It's that in your fucking face. So they rolled in here, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? So Kaysville, speaking of Barnes Bank, this is so corrupt. One corrupt mayor after another fucking So they rolled into Morgan, to Brigham City. I mean, why would Brigham, what, Morgan? Fucking Morgan? So what they did, here's how they work. They come in and they says, here's a $200,000 grant. And you don't think they know how to pull these fucking manipulate grant money in Utah? Oh, you know nothing about the Mormon polygamous clan and the solar fucking scam. You know how many billions they fucking stole? The Kingston clan? So, Sean Reyes is the Attorney General, Cal Berkeley guy, who's related. His uncle's the madman fucking monster in the Philippines. Oh yeah, that's his uncle. Has no ties here, whatever, but he's our Attorney General. Kind of like we're going to have Mia Love from Brooklyn. Now we're going to have Burgess Owens from fucking Brooklyn. We're going to have Mitt Romney from Michigan and fucking Massachusetts. I mean, what happened to our local guys? So, they roll in. Here's $200,000 they plop down to Kaysville. Or they tried it here in South Ogden. Because I've had people tell me point blank. Well, what's the $200,000 for? It's a grant from the government for what? For you. What do you mean you? Here, we'll help you set an NGO up. And now Ogden City, you know, I went to college with Bond. He's the treasurer. I went to college with, you know, Chris Allred, the prosecutor, but I've been in their ears. I've been in John Bond's ear. I says, look, it's corrupt. The West 12th Weber County Economic Development, this Gibson character, they stole it. They put a nuclear waste dump site out there. What? What is Kevin talking about? So, they're like, what? This is for the city, for Morgan, for Brigham City, for Logan. Who do you think put the bug in their ear up in Logan? I like his statement. He says, well, it's nuclear energy, clean, green, too cheap to murder. That's the biggest lie in fucking history. You know, there's a lot of fucking lies that have been shoved down your throat. No, this is for you. We'll help you set up your own personal NGO. You just keep the money. What? Oh, yeah. It is bottom. County commissioners. So Murray did it. Brigham City did it. Morgan's going to put a little nuclear. Yeah, they are. Sure they are. Rolls Royce. I mean, SMRs, Bill Eugene, and all the... Why? Because the Patriot Act... Excuse me. There's another. Price-Anderson. The law that was passed in the 50s that takes liability away from anything nuclear. So you can't sue them. Again, if something goes bad, it blows up, whatever, they go back up, it falls onto the backs of the fucking United States taxpayer. It's a fact, Jack. So that's how they pulled it. So it got approved this week. Don't you think that's a little corrupt? So I asked Jose Reyes, our Attorney General, because Sean Reyes, our crowd in Oregon, got in this, you know, he's on the banks of the fucking Columbia River as the salmon collapsed from Fukushima. You're in denial. By the way, I stuck on almost all this around here. Thousands of them, you know. And you think, oh, Kevin Blanche, he's not... Fuck. Go to the cemetery right there on the hill. Go to the one in Ogden. Very first whitey. Oh, his name's Blanche. You know, Ogden Clinic, my uncle who saved me from the fucking grave. You know. Vincent Hansen, his business partner, saved me. So... I asked Jose Reyes at the Bear River Massacre, speaking of Shadow Valley, all the roads in Shadow Valley are named after native, which was beautiful. I did so much beautiful work up there. When I was a kid, there was just 2 ponds. It was, fuck, this was the most beautiful piece of real estate in the West. I'm telling you. It was sacred. It was hallowed. You know, McKay Hospital, you know, my path, my cancer, the native angel that's always been with me. They're named after, the streets are all named after native tribes, which was great that he did that when he originally did that. And it's such a special place, but they've overdeveloped it. Edward Abbey, right here, who I'm friends with. Edward Abbey's second, third, or fourth wife was from here, and Kaysville, and she was related to my girlfriend at the time. She got leukemia and died. So Edward Abbey, right here. Growth for the sake of growth. The ideology of cancer cells. He said that here at Weber State, who's turned out into Weber State of Hate, who blackballed me, Fama K. Brody. Oh yeah, she's from here. Oh yeah, Bernard DeVoto, he's from here. I won't stop there. So, all this inherited wealth that came from nuclear energy, the Wattis curse. You know, it's all nuclear energy made in Utah construction, merged with GE, all roads lead here. So I asked Jose Reyes, Sean Reyes, our attorney general at the Bear. So Cox shows up, and he says, He gives a speech, our governor-elect. How's that happen? Ignorant, selfish people will elect ignorant, selfish leaders. He says, the reason we're here, this was Utah territory when this happened. I waited. The only time they've ever showed up. I go every year since I was a little kid. And I says, why are you airing your ignorance in public? I have it on video. I haven't posted it because I don't play that way. I told Cox that. He's a nice enough guy, just ignorant. And I says, this was never Utah territory. It was Washington. Well, that's not what we were told. We were told I thought he was a leader. So anyway, Jose Reyes was there. So I walked up to Jose Reyes and I says, hey, this Reyes has said in public before to our crowd that he's related to you. I mean, conflict, is that true? No, I'm not related. And I says, well, that's good. Thanks for telling me that. But what about this Nuscale and this corruption, this thing, which is the best corrupt thing? And this is the Attorney General here. I got to tell you, Kevin, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Do I have to say anything else? Do I have Carlin on Balco on chemo? My place here. So much of my life. Let's flip it. Who's going to hold the camera? Nobody can hold the camera. Kevin Blanchard. By the way, remember when I refused to switch to fake stucco? Oh, you contractors in South Ogden? You laughed at me? Where you been? Somebody asked me up here the other day. I've been in the bone marrow. I've been on my Mormon mission. I told Mike Lee that. Your Mormon mission, Kev, whose dad died young, he don't care. Where did you go? I says, I went to the East 8 Bone Marrow Transplant Center at LDS Hospital. Oh, my dad's a downwinder. Okay. So he gets caught bringing the nuclear away. They don't care, Obama. His mother downwinder, they don't care. By the way, this market's a little pricey, but they fresh squeeze the orange juice every day, and I'm a big juicer, as you know. I didn't have a bone marrow transplant. Bimbo Peterson and Dr. Hansen will both tell you who saved my life. Those two, something rotten in New Denmark. Kevin, you're the biggest miracle. I can't believe it. I was too sick. They sent me home to die. I walked the coast of California, videoing dead tide pools as I was dying with platelet counts in a 30. Why the head man? Cliff Robinson. He died of leukemia. Oh yeah, so did Paul Allen in his 60 billion. Oh yeah, what? He's Maxwell's friend? Epstein Island guy? Oh yeah. Yep. Willard 4-3. Turn your back on me. That's a big can, dude. You gotta go with your left, Jerry Carding. I'll tell you how much influence I have. I told Jerry, he's the best player I ever played here. John Thompson has passed, Ruben Nemhart, shut down Iverson. Here. I'll do another one up there at the arena. Don't even mess around with this NBA draft. They're going to ball and boy you. They're going to play games with you. Go right to Europe. 13 players from here. Weber State in Europe. Don't even mess with it. The quality of life's so high. Ask Stockton's kids. And so, all three of them play in Germany. They says, we ain't never coming home. So, go with your left, Hardy. He did. Good for him. Stand tuned. Nuscale from hell. I don't care. It's not how many are watching. Who's watching?